Is my everything okay? Yeah. So he hit me. I hit him yesterday to say, hey, want to set up to do this or whatever, right? And he was just like, I was like, man, so what'd you think about the video? He was like, yeah, I'm not in it, but it's dope. I said, what? He was like, dude, I looked it through over and over. I was just like, no, because I counted. I could have sworn I counted. I was like, every time I was like, 1, 2, 3. And I guess I missed somebody. And I'm like, and that's my boy too. I mean, everybody in there is my peoples. I think it's not like my first book. There was like 2 guys that were in there that I had just met like 2 weeks earlier. And I was like, yo, you'll be dope for this project. But everybody else, you know what I'm saying? At least even yourself, we didn't meet in person, but at least over social media, whatever, is like some time, right?
We've had some time.
I'm trying to tell you, I felt bad. So I gotta because I actually edited it. So
that's some time spent. That's time spent. And to find the clips that for it to flow, because I think when I didn't realize there was like a through line of everyone's responses tying into each other. And I was like, oh, damn. And then when we got to like boundaries and growth, that's when it kicked in for me. It was like boundary this, boundary that, boundary. And I was like, I see what he did here. So Buddy gets his own clip.
I know, right? I know. I got
an exclusive. Exclusive.
That is true though, man. I felt so bad. I feel bad because I don't know. My bad, Antonio.
Yeah, but let's talk about the word of the day.
Yeah, man. Dadication, man. That's what's up, man. Well, first of all, thank you so much for even just coming on. And we are live here. So wanted to, in the spirit of Father's Day, and then also the upcoming book that I have, Memoirs of a Father, Memoirs from a Father to His Son, Mr. Brandon Alexander, is just one of the 24 men that I had to think about it.
He's 24 men.
Listen, that was a lot of video. Yeah. But that's the thing. It's a combination of content and then video as well. So people will be able to click on be able to read the specific chapter, of course, as you know, and then click on the QR code and then see videos of individuals like yourself and some of the other men just dropping gems. And so every question, you definitely dropping gems. But I wanted to take a moment before we dive in, because only going to be maybe about 10, 15 minutes. I want to take a moment, at least allow you to introduce yourself so people can know who you are in these streets.
Oh my gosh, in these streets. Well, it's an interesting thing. I'll say I'm an actor based in Los Angeles. I have a platform called New Age Gents, where I was working with men. I would have meant to be a modern day gentleman. That is on pause at the moment. But that's currently who I am in life. That's how I'm rocking. That's how I'm moving.
And that's actually how I caught my eye to you, because of the of what you had on Instagram, and that was wrapped around what?
Come on, you gonna say Fatherhood Fridays?
I did it. That's what I said. Besides that, I was gonna go to that next, but I'm just saying, like before that, and I just let everybody know I bit Fatherhood Fridays from this man right here. And if you look at a lot of the posts, you'll see that I was actually tagging him to it, or just we kind of would be going back and forth with just showing men in a light that unfortunately is not shown as much as we would like to see. And so I absolutely love the idea. Just fathers with their kids, with their wives and the kids, with the girlfriends and the kids. Just doing different things. I don't care if it's throwing the ball in the backyard or whatever. Talk to me about just really what inspired you to even to do that and just highlight the fathers in that capacity. Where'd that come from?
What's interesting is it wasn't even about, I think the hot button word in Hollywood in particular is like representation and diversity. Now it's like, it wasn't because of that. Mm-hmm. I just felt like men needed that pat. It was like, yo, a lot of y'all are out here doing something, but how you're portrayed in society,
right?
And this is across the board, right? And for me, it's a global sense. This isn't even just an American thing,
right?
I'm looking at fatherhood in all cultures being kind of like you have one role to play, and it's never from a place of love.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
it's never from a place of love. It's always you're a provider, you're a teacher, you're a disciplinarian. And it's like, we make pancakes on Saturday mornings. You know, we rough and
Come
tumble
on,
and we want
pancakes.
to, pancakes, man, like stuff that you see and you're like, well, that's what a woman's supposed to do, right? She's supposed to be the nurturing and the loving and the caring one, or the one that's giving the reassurance, the affirmation. And there's so much power in the love a man can give that I wanted to amplify that, because the platform that I've been blessed to build I wanted to amplify the love that we have to give and let people know, like, it's real for the people who have not experienced it, and then to affirm the people who are experiencing it and living it.
That's absolutely perfect. And I really appreciate you doing that, because you are right. It's more of we're not showing in that capacity. Right. I mean, I said as of Thursday night, and what is it, June 4th now? I've only seen one Father's Day commercial.
That's what I'm saying. That's,
you know what I'm saying? And Father's Day is like 2 weeks away. And I shared earlier this week in the podcast, I was just like, it's interesting. Father's Day is behind Halloween. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. We're behind Valentine's Day, Easter.
Yikes.
You can Google this. And so it kind of like, it sends a message. And, but if you had to like kind of speak to, some of the young men out there about, really what it is that, and how important that we are out here. What would you say, man? And actually, no, not just to the young, just to men, period, from an encouragement perspective. I know why you were doing the Instagram piece of just kind of changing that thought process. But, there's a feeling that some men have out here in this space. And so if you had to kind of give that level of encouragement, what would that be?
To uncover your capacity to love is to uncover your true power.
Okay.
A mentor of mine said to me, he said, Brandon, you don't know how powerful you are. And I was like, what the heck is he talking about?
Right.
It was like a Rafiki moment. I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, you'll find out one day. But like, he was like, you don't know how powerful you are. And I was like, all right, bet. So something happened. Fast forward to something happened. And I was giving my love in the moment, like unapologetically, completely unabandoned, and then realized how good I felt that I wasn't looking for a response because I gave it. And he said, you see how you feel when you don't give your love away? When you're looking for the person to give it back to you is when you give your power away. Ooh. You can give your love freely and understand that the capacity you have to love is the capacity of your power. But the second they don't give it back to you, you become deflated, you become weak, you're no longer standing in power, you're standing in strength, which means there's weakness. So I was like, bruh, what? So my idea of love has always been transactional. Our love is not transactional. Our love is to give. God's love, right, is the love we are supposed to give to people, which is, I don't need my kid to say, I love you back. I don't need my wife to say, I love you back. I don't need Elam or anybody I know to say, I love you back, or I love you as much as you love me. If I have this love to give you, I am giving that gift free.
Come on, sir.
And that is your power. That is your capacity. So some of you men don't understand how powerful you are because you haven't uncovered the love that is in you. But it dwells in you. It is buried inside of you. And for whatever reason, you haven't been able to express it and live in it because you're afraid, you're scared, you've been told not to love, you've been told it's soft, you've been told it's weak. Maybe you're in the military and you're there and you're only there to protect. But your power is not your job position. Your power is not how many weights you can lift in the gym. Your power is not your bank account. Your power is your capacity to love.
Listen, man, so you want to go an hour on this one, so I got to definitely have you on the show, because this is right here. I was trying to have just trying to share something real quick, and you want to go real deep, but I do think that even as we're sitting here, I want to share with the fathers, just if I'm piggybacking off of you correctly, in maximizing becoming the best father that you can be has a lot to do with the love that you build for yourself, independently of your children, independently of your wife or your girlfriend or whatever, right? It's it's almost like the oxygen mask, right? when you're on the airplane, right? They say put on your mask first, then everybody. They basically telling you let little Johnny cough while you get your mask together, right? Makes sense because you got to get you together first before you can. So it's the same thing. I'm gathering from you maximizing the love for yourself as a man, understanding your worth as a man, and then you can be the best dad and have that level of dedication that people can give.
1,000%. 1,000%. Dedication starts with you, right? Dedication is a dedication to yourself and to also the child in you that needs it, right? That child, people think that child dies. That child has never died. If you're living, that child is living because you are that child. So don't stop loving those parts of you because they still exist. Just because you're in another iteration or another phase of your life, this is just my opinion, right? I'm 33, so I'm just out here living and discovering and figuring out myself. But what I found that has helped me greatly in my life with loving and even becoming someone who people look at and like, oh, he's a man, he's a man. Thank you for your observation. But internally, this man has moments where he takes care of the kid in him, whether it's something that used to excite me as a kid. Like I love animals, right? When I was a kid, I loved animals. That's never left me. So I'll geek out. I'll geek out on a National Geographic special with that same childlike joy. Not being like, yeah, man, that cheetah cold, he a cold piece, dog. Like, no, I'm a geek out and be like, if infatuated and fascinated with it the way that I was as a kid. So don't lose those parts of you because someone's telling you, you got to be this man, you got to be something else. No, you're going to take care of your responsibilities. You got to take care of things in life that are already called for you. But what's also important and equally important is to find those moments for yourself, to dedicate those moments to yourself, whether you're a father or not a father, because some of you guys watching aren't fathers yet, and give it to you so that you can give it to the world and everyone around you.
Man, listen, first of all, you got to get on that planet Earth. I'm sure you probably seen it, right? They've been rocking for about 2 days right now. So I mean, I could watch them over and over again. Now I haven't seen this new one that I think Obama did or whatever. But we can talk about that afterwards. Anyway, I want to wrap up because it's something that we kind of talked about a little bit when we were doing the interviews for the book or whatever. Just kind of touching on your childhood and the connection between the relationship between you and your father. If you had to just walk through maybe about a couple of minutes of that, of just how your growth through that, what could you share to add encouragement for anybody who might have walked inside of that same space as well?
It's interesting. I do apologize because we did have one key moment thing that I wanted to touch on, but I guess we may not even get to it. But my dad and I, it's funny, my dad and I, when I was a kid, I saw him as absent. I saw him as not available. I saw him as not loving. I saw him as all these things. I had a story in my head about my dad, who my dad was and how my dad was showing up from a very particular perspective based on who I was raised by, who I was around, and their view of him and how it was impacting everyone's lives. It wasn't until I was in my 20s that I stopped seeing him as my dad and I stopped seeing him as a person. And when I stopped seeing him as my dad, started seeing him as a person, he became my friend. When he became my friend, I realized I really liked my friend. He's an amazing, he's one of my best friends. The one thing we started sharing in my adult life, when I released him from the expectation he felt of, why won't you play catch with me? Why won't you do this with me? Why won't you da-da-da-da-da? Why won't you da-da-da-da-da? When I released him from that, I started to experience the person people told me he was. Your dad's funny, man. Your dad's a really funny guy. And I was like, this never made me laugh. Every time we get on the phone, it's a nonstop laughter from the time I get on to the time I get off. And back to the love piece really quick, and I'll button it up. It's so great now that we have a joke where he says, "Hey man, I don't say that I love you. I don't know where we at with language, but I don't say that I love you shit."
That's old school right there. Old school. They didn't do a lot of "I love yous." Old school did.
So one day we had a moment, right? He loves music. I love music. He's the reason I'm even into jazz music. I'm into jazz. We're talking about jazz. We're talking about old school classic music. And this is like the most beautiful moment of my life. But we bring up greatest like soul singer of all time, female wise. Aretha Franklin comes up. I'm into country music. I'm like, she started in country, right? He's like, country. He's like, no, you got to twist it. I was like, what do you mean? He was like, no, gospel. I was like, gospel? He said, yeah. Go back and listen to Holy Holy. I was like, what's Holy Holy? He said, you've never heard Holy Holy. She has a whole album called Amazing Grace.
Okay.
And it's all gospel tracks. It's If you haven't heard it, bro, it is one of the most
I might have to
phenomenal.
go. Okay.
It's phenomenal. It's like, what? So no, I kid you, because I didn't realize it was a cold piece, dog. Like, it's a cold piece. So she has a song called "Holy Holy," which is a cover of a Marvin Gaye song, and she sings it at the church. And my dad's like, "Go put it on." So I put the song on. I had a couple of glasses of whiskey, so I'm already in my feelings. I put this holy, holy track on, right? And you already know, if God want to be in a moment, he's gonna be in a moment. So I got my dad on speakerphone. He's listening to the song. I listen to the song. I'm crying. He doesn't know I'm crying. I'm crying because I'm like, damn, I remember begging for this moment as a kid.
Wow.
And I'm getting it right now at 33. I'm getting that moment. And I know my dad's excited because he's like, hey, you hear the harp in the background? Yeah, he was the only black harpist. Da, 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 da. And then he listen to that. This is the key progression. Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. Crazy. So we have that. Then he makes me listen to this song called Azalea, because I told him I love Louis Armstrong. I was